Hi guys, it's Coach Hannah. So today we are going to work on everybody's favorite skill, I know, splits. As much as we all love or hate them, they're such an important skill that goes in gymnastics. It's relevant on every single event, so you might as well get to love them and get to have them. So I figured we'd work on those today. So a lot of this is going to be stretching and that kind of deal, but if you have like a foam roller or something like books that you can stack your foot on for that kind of extra stretch, go ahead and grab that real quickly. It'll just be a little bit more of an advanced stretch if you're looking for that. So what we're going to start with is I'm going to scoot back here so you can see me. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to stretch out our legs individually. So first thing is put that first leg out straight. Doesn't matter which one, we're going to do both. Tuck your other leg in to your knee, and I want you to fold yourself over towards your leg. This should be stretching the back of that leg. Something that a lot of gymnasts have and why they can't get those splits is a lack of flexibility in the back of their knees to keep them straight so they can push them down. That also goes along with the lack of flexibility in our hip flexors, so we'll work on both of that. So bend yourself down towards your foot. And then I want you to pike your foot up, point that up to the sky, and I want you to pull on it. That is going to add a little bit of an extra stretch here in the back of your knee. Super good. Now you're going to grab that book, or for me, my foam roller, and you're going to put it underneath your ankle. This is just going to add that little bit of an extra stretch so you can fold yourself a little bit easier with it being elevated. So you're going to fold yourself in. If this is too much of a stretch, you can always roll it or set your books a little bit higher on that leg on your calf. That'll make it a little bit easier. But if you're looking for more of that stretch, roll it as close to your ankle as you can and fold yourself forward. Good. And then flex that foot once again and pull it up towards the sky. Super good. Okay, we're gonna switch that other leg. Gotta make sure they're both balanced. They both go into getting our splits. So we're gonna switch our sides, put your other leg out straight, plug the other one into your leg, and fold yourself forward. Good, and flex that foot up, grab your toes, and try and pull them back towards you. Super good. And once again, grab that foam roller, that stack of books, whatever you have, to elevate your foot. Put it underneath your ankle or closer to your hips, whatever is most comfortable for you. And fold yourself forward. Good. And flex that foot back towards you and pull it back towards your knee. Super good. Okay, this next part, this is going to be for our hip flexors. This is where it's going to be really important in a little bit to have something to set one of your feet up on. So if you still need to grab that, go ahead and do that. Your next thing you're going to do is called a froggy. So it's like a fake middle split, I guess you could say, is you're going to keep your knees bent the entire time and then just slide here. It makes it a little bit easier because you don't have that added pressure on those knees if your legs are out straight. So this is a good way to really focus on pushing those hips down as far as you can go because you don't have to worry about the rest of your legs. Something that's also really important to keep in mind is you want your hips and your knees to be in line. You don't want to be pushed forward here or pushed super far back. You want to be in a directly straight line. Good, and try and push yourself for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Our next thing we're going to do is we're going to do those butterflies. This is also a great hip flexor stretch. We're going to start with those feet pulled in as close as we can get and pushing our knees down. You should feel this stretch deep within your hips. That is a good place. That is going to help if you can get that loosened up a little bit. That's going to help with the splits a lot. Good. Now you're going to spread those toes out a little bit more. Fold yourself down to your toes. This, you're going to feel it more in the back of your hips rather than the inside. Super good. Okay, our next thing we're gonna do, you're gonna grab that foam roller, that stack of books, whatever you have with you. You're gonna keep one leg bent here, the other leg straight, and you're just gonna push your hips down. So once again, this is just like a half a split, but it's allowing your body to get used to pushing that leg straight. Good, try and push yourself for a little bit more for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this one is a little bit of an opposite, is with our pec stretch is more of a stretch if it is by your ankle. But this one, if you push yourself closer to your hips and push yourself down a little bit more, that'll give you a little bit more stretch. So that's something to keep in mind as we do the other side. So put that on the other side. Keep your leg that you just did bent. Straighten the other one. Roll it over and try and push that hip down. Good. As you can see, my other leg here is pushed out like it's on the other side of the split. You can do that, or you can also keep it up a little bit more and just push that hip out a little bit more this way. So whatever is more comfortable for you. Good. And come out of it. And now we're going to go into the actual part of the splits. So what is really important about our splits is everybody can do them. You just have to be willing to hold them. Holding them is the worst part, I know from experience and lots of years of having to hold splits. But if you can just sit in your splits, the more you do it, if you do this every day, just sit in your splits for a little bit before you go to bed. When you wake up, you're gonna start to see progress in those splits, so that's something to think about. So the first thing that we're gonna do, like we do in every stretch when we go into practice, is we're gonna start that lunge. Remember, we don't want that front knee to go over our foot, but you want to push your hips forward here. So if you have to straighten that back leg like you see mine, go ahead and do that. You're gonna feel this stretch through your back of your leg here, through your hips. And we're gonna hold this for a decent amount of time. If you need to come out, shake your legs out a little bit, but I want you to try and hold it for as long as you can. Good. Something else to keep in mind is that back leg over there. You don't want it to be out to the side here or rolled over. You want to be in a straight line with those knees. Your knees should be in line with your hips. Everything should be in a super straight line. Good. Now we're going to go to our next part. We're going to straighten that front knee. Your hips are going to be in line with your back knee here, and you're going to point your toe and fold yourself down. Something to think about here is you can't just fold yourself down and you'll feel a stretch, but if you're not feeling that stretch, you want to feel like you're actively pushing this front leg here down towards the ground and trying to straighten that leg as much as you can. That'll give you a little bit more of an extra stretch. Once again, we're going to hold this position for a decent amount of time because like I was saying earlier, the more you hold it, the more comfortable you're going to get with it, and the more flexibility you're going to gain. Good. Slowly come out of it, and we're going to push ourselves down into our splits. If your splits are here, that's perfectly fine. I want you to hold them, but I want you to try and go as far down as you can. Making sure that that front knee is rolled up, pointed towards the sky, and it is straight. Our back knee is tucked underneath, we cannot see it, and our legs and toes are in line and pointed. And we're going to try and hold this for as long as we can as well. Once again, if you need to come out, shake those legs out a little bit, feel free to. I know it can be a little bit uncomfortable. Good. Something that's also really important to remember is you don't want your hips to be facing the side. You want them to be facing directly over your leg like this. If that's something you feel that you're struggling with, you can always cross your opposite arms over your opposite legs. And then you can try and push yourself into that correct shape. Good. Now wherever you are in your splits, I want you to try and push yourself as far as it feels comfortable, obviously not to the point of where you're going to injure yourself, but just push yourself a little bit more for 5 seconds. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Roll out of it slowly. Nothing too quick. Don't want to hurt anything. We're going to switch to our other leg. You're going, once again, start in that lunge. Front leg is up, back leg. You're going to move it back so you can push yourself into that lunge without that front knee going over your toes. Good. If you can, I want you to try and keep your chest up, and you can use your hands to push yourself on that front knee. Awesome. Now we're going to go to our next phase of our splits. We're going to straighten that front leg. Once again, all those hips should be over your knees, toes pointed. Fold yourself down to your knee if you can. Try and push that leg to be as straight as it possibly can be. Good, and I want you to push for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come out of it, and we're going to slide down into those splits. Once again, just go as far as you can, and I want you to try and hold it. You'll feel as you get more comfortable or as you're sitting in this position for a little bit longer, you're going to start to slide down a little bit more. As it feels a little uncomfortable, I want you to try and push through it a little bit. That being said, if you do need to come out, shake your legs out a little bit, feel free to do so. Once again, really important to make sure that knee in the back is tucked under, our front knee is straight pointing up to the ceiling, our legs and our hips are in line, our hips aren't facing out to the side. Once again, if you do need to cross those arms to overcorrect yourself, feel free to do that. Good, and I want you to push yourself for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Our last splits, which can often be the worst, is our middle split. Something that's really important to remember with our middle splits is we have to keep our legs and our hips in line. We don't want our feet to be here and our hips to be pushed in front of us, or the opposite if our feet are in front of us and our hips are pushed behind us like we're just sitting in a straddle stretch. It should be uncomfortable. Splits are not supposed to be comfortable. You just gotta kind of push through that. So we're gonna hold our middle splits. I really want you to focus on trying to get those hips in line. If you need to come out, readjust yourself, look in the mirror, have a family member come tell you if you're straight, please feel free to do so. So how we do our splits, I find that is the easiest way, is you can either start standing up, spread those legs out, and walk yourself down and just let your hips and legs slide down to where you're comfortable on your elbows. You'll notice in this, unlike our straddle stretch, is our knees are not going to be facing up towards the ceiling. That is okay because we should be up on our elbows, which is making our hips pull forward, therefore bringing our knees with them. Something else that's important to remember is you must point those feet. Remember, we're gymnasts. Our feet should be pointed at all times. All right, I'm gonna move to the side so you guys can see how my hips are in line with my legs. I want you guys to stay where you are. So this is not what we want where our hips are behind us. We wanna be up here, not back here, or up forward like this. If we're on our stomachs, we're not doing it right. So I want you to push yourself for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome, come out of it slowly. So I know that was super, super quick and something super easy. It might not feel so great right now, but just remember, splits are something that takes practice, and practice makes perfect. As cheesy as that sounds, the more you do it, the better they're gonna get, the more comfortable they're gonna be. So just maybe do a couple splits every single night, and it'll feel a lot better, I promise. So I hope you guys are staying super healthy. I can't wait to see you guys in the gym soon. I hope you guys are all doing well. Bye.